Out of the blue, this gentleman by the name of David Stryzewski came in swinging. Now, he is the CEO of Sound Planning Group, which is basically a wealth manager. Now, I can confirm that I've never heard about this guy inside of the XRP or Ripple space because here on the channel, we've been covering Ripple and XRP for years. I've seen virtually all of the content and major names in the space that are credible and complete and total BS, and I've never seen this guy, which leads me to ask the question, is he an industry insider? Does he know something we don't? Why did he show up now of all times when XRP is on the verge of a breakout to new all-time highs? Now, in his debut interview, he made some really bold claims about XRP and its role in the current financial system, stating that the Bank of America, something we recently covered, the second largest bank in the United States, has quietly been using Ripple and XRP for 100% of its internal transactions. And the media and many publications ran with it. It was all over Twitter from many reputable accounts. And when searched on Google, each article here is posted within the last 4 to 5 days and all cite this one interview on Fox Business. Then many other media outlets and even podcasts probably reached out to him, and in another recent interview, this is what he stated.
But XRP, right. What do you see with that one?
Okay, so that's Ripple. Yeah. So Ripple has a very interesting story. So their whole thing is that they want to be the central bank digital currency coin of choice.
Well, he was on Fox Business, right? He must be legit, or is he hiding something? Where did he come from? What does he actually know? Either way, if all of what he's been saying is true, it would not only be enlightening, but confirm the beliefs of many XRP investors and give the community another reason to double down on the XRP token. So in this video, we'll be diving into the information he shared to uncover what's true, and then I'll share my opinion on who this guy is and whether or not he has the actual insider info that we need and what he shares is legit. I'll also cover the recent price action on XRP, run a bit of technical analysis to give you my take on markets and what actual money is doing right now, whether or not any pundit is talking on major media outlets. So as always, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, PauliEDEFI. Now, really quickly, I want to cover the price action and more specifically this post from Peter Brandt that explains that the XRP token is the leader of the pack. And here in this image, he posts how it was in a descending wedge or a triangle, something that you could potentially call a bull pennant, and has officially broke out on that breakout up to $2.58. Currently, we're sitting at $2.52. Now, here is someone that I truly respect as a technical analyst and ultimately shares his philosophies. He's someone credible that you can count to share information that is completely unbiased. So that said, this chart is looking pretty freaking good. Now, looking at the price action on Ripple, you can see right here that we've had a descending wedge or a triangle for a series of lower highs, and I'll go ahead and circle that major all-time high right up here. This next high came in lower, the next high came in lower, and then a series of higher lows now for what potentially could be a breakout and an uptrend right here. What I also love is the fact that when I pull up that VRVP, which is a volume range profile, as you can see here, we have this huge cliff right here. And what this indicates is that a whole lot of volume has been traded between the ranges of about $2.45 all the way down to $2.28. And what this means is there is a lot of institutional or investor interest between these ranges. So anything above would have been a little bit high in terms of the value at the current time frame. At anything below would have been a little low or oversold. Now, if you've been watching any of my previous videos, you'll note that I said we had a pretty strong long range and support right here between the dollar prices of $1.95 up to about $2. and that would be our major support. Then I stated that we wouldn't want to see a major breakdown below the $2.20 range. So for example, if I pull out to that daily time frame, you can see that we have a lot of support in this range. And I know this is a very messy chart, so let me go ahead and remove those drawings. As you can see here on a daily time frame, a breakdown below this range right here would lead us to go further, considering this looked like a bear trap. We had a series of lower lows right here, or arguably just a lot of lows, but these were actual candles that closed into this range, whereas these candles were consistently bought up in the range. Again, I would like to see it supported right above the $2.20 range and definitely above the $2.30 range. And guess what? Not only did that happen, but we had a recent breakout. So this breakout right here is pretty good, considering the fact that if you go down to a 4-hour time frame, we're seeing a lot of volume pick up in this range, right? At one point in time, volume was consistently decreasing, especially through this range right here between December 27th through the 29th. So if I zoom out, let's go ahead and do that. You can see that volume was really declining right here. And this would have been a good indicator that this is a good support range. Whenever you get a major uptrend like this, and then volume declines heavily like it did right here, this is an indicator that there is less and less selling. So any price action against the trend or the prevailing trend, which the prevailing trend is up, as you can see, since November 3rd of this year, then this would have been a good indicator to buy. And actually on the channel, I was telling people I will be buying anything between the ranges of $2 down to $1.95, and you can go ahead and rewatch those videos from that time frame. Now that said, any break above this descending wedge or bull wedge would be a breakout and a confirmation. And not only did we break out, even if we get a support right back down here at the $2.40 range, this is a very good indicator that we're ready to move beyond that daily resistance right up here at about $2.60. And a break above this range, and something that I've already talked about multiple times, which I am currently adding to my positions right now, does not mean I am indicating that you should do it. It's just something that I am doing. I'm adding to my positions right now because I believe thoroughly we're going to get a break above this $2.60 range. And if we continue to get an increase in volume, as you can see that we are now starting to trend to the upside, let me go ahead and show you. We'll zoom in right here. You can see that volume was decreasing right here, and now it is starting to increase to the buy side, where we're getting bigger and bigger volume candles or buy signals. So this is a good indicator that there is actual strength behind this move, and a breakout here with even more strength and more volume increase will be a very positive sign. Now I'm on the Kraken exchange on a daily time frame. If you go to something like Binance in the USDT pair, you'll see even more volume, and we're talking to the tune of billions of dollars. We did see about $750 million here, but on Binance this would be billions of dollars of volume because liquidity is spread across many exchanges. Either way, things are looking really good, considering we have a lot of support here. We're starting to paint a new uptrend. And then even when you look at that 4-hour time frame, I'll go ahead and remove all of those drawings yet again. I'll get rid of the VRVP, which is the volume profile, and just pull up that 10 and 20 EMA. You can see that we were ranging quite a bit back and forth. Let me turn off the price action even and just show you. We'll go ahead and hide the price action. And you can see that we had a lot of chop between the 10 and 20 EMA. Crossovers, right? This would be bearish, this would be bullish, but then it turned bearish again, and then bullish again. And so really what we're looking for is something that looks more like this, where we get a consistent trend where the 10 EMA stays above the 20 EMA, which is the orange line, and we barely ever get a crossover at all. Just a very strong trend. As you can see here, we had a slight breakdown, but not enough to really mess with the trend. Here is when we started to get really messy, considering the trend even on the EMAs looked to be down. So that said, when we had this crossover here, okay, I'll go ahead and show you, and we had a breakout in terms of volume right around here, this would have indicated that this trend was extremely strong. And so if I pull up, for example, the price action now, you can see that not only did we have a break above our range resistance right here at 64 cents, but the price continued to trend using that 10 and 20 EMA on a 4-hour time frame. And so guess what just happened? Not only are we getting a break above range highs right here at $2.44, 45 cents, which is our VRVP and our confluence. Let me go ahead and zoom out, but now we might get a support right here at about $2.40. $8.40 some cents for a break to new highs, and a break to new highs on volume with the crossover on the 10 and 20 EMA is going to be huge, especially even when you zoom out and look at the daily time frame. As you can see here, we're being supported at the 20 EMA, and we already had that crossover occur on the 10 and 20 EMA. So everything is looking extremely good from a price action perspective. Currently adding to my positions. I will continue to add my positions through $2.60. I want to be fully deployed in that range, at least with the amount of money that I expect to invest in XRP, and things should be looking good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so before we continue the video and cover who this gentleman Peter is and whether or not he's an insider, really quickly, if you haven't had the time already, head on over to bullrunners.com to check out Altcoin Pro University if you're committed to becoming a crypto millionaire in 2025 and beyond. Now, the reality is we can't guarantee you're going to be a millionaire, but this is your one-stop shop that has all the right tools, training, resources, live calls, altcoin picks from professionals, live trainings with professionals. You get Q&A. You have a community of a bunch of people, almost 1,200 members, paying $97 a month. So they're obviously serious when they want to be here. Now, that said, if you do get started here, you're going to have access within 13 days to join us at our live mansion event on January 26th through the 28th. And the only way you can sign up to join us and meet the entire team here is by going to bullrunners.com/altcoin pro. Again, you can find that link in the description below. Join Altcoin Pro, and from there you can get access to come meet us in Las Vegas at the mansion experience. Now, really quickly, if you have any questions or you want to learn more, you can watch this short video from our very own Nick Anderson to learn more, but let's get back into the video. Okay, folks, so here we are. We have David Stryzewski, who all of a sudden came out of the blue and started talking a big talk about how Bank of America was using Ripple and XRP for 100% of their internal transactions. Now, I personally find that hard to believe. What I don't find hard to believe is that they potentially had a partnership and that they were working together. But then he started saying some things. He started showing up on different podcasts and in different environments, sharing things that are simply not true. So, for example, in this video interview, he basically states something that is 100% not true. Let's listen to it again.
But XRP, have you? What do you see with that one?
Okay, so that's Ripple. Very. Yeah. So Ripple has a very interesting story. So their whole thing is that they want to be the central bank digital currency coin of choice. They are headquartered right now in Hong Kong, so that's actually a big deal because...
Let's pause it there. He said they are headquartered in Hong Kong. Now, here's a guy, because he was on Fox Business, all of a sudden seems to have credibility. He wears nice suits. He looks well kept. He starts to talk like he knows what he's talking about. But when you say something like they're headquartered in Hong Kong, that is simply not true. For example, if you go over to Glassdoor, which is a hiring website, you can see that they were founded in 2012, and guess where their headquarters is? San Francisco. If you go over to Crunchbase, another credible source, you can see that they are headquartered in San Francisco. If you go over to Craft.co, Ripple headquarters, San Francisco, 315 Montgomery Street, and yes, they do have 8 office locations. As you can see here, they're in San Francisco, Sao Paulo, Iceland, India, Japan, Singapore, Dubai, and London, but you do not see Hong Kong. Matter of fact, if you go over to ripple.com and check out their job posts and careers, you can see that they're hiring in some different locations like London, New York, Singapore, Switzerland. But guess what does not show up on the entire list? For a headquarters, it would not be Hong Kong. In other words, Hong Kong does not show up anywhere for Ripple. So the moment this guy started talking out his butt about how they're headquartered in Hong Kong, well, then you have to start to question, why is this guy all over the place talking like this? Is he truly an industry insider, or does he has an ulterior motive, such as the fact that he is the CEO of Sound Planning Group? So when you check out Sound Planning Group, which is essentially a wealth manager for retirement, and then click on the About and Our Team, you'll see that he is the CEO over at this company. In other words, he has a direct incentive to be a talking pundit and get more and more media attention, because the smarter that he sounds, or the more heads he gets in front of, the more likely he is to get business. So he doesn't even need to know what he's talking about, as long as he sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and as long as he gets in front of more and more people, he's likely to get more business for his wealth management company. And so now we have to bring into question everything else he says. So for example, he's already screwed up on the fact that they're headquartered in Hong Kong, but once you've been on one major media outlet, everyone seems to take you seriously, and immediately you get a bunch of posts. That said, let's listen to the rest of this audio really quickly.
Headquartered right now in Hong Kong. So that's actually a big deal, because China wants to become the next Wall Street. And so they're really...
And by the way, we've covered China, and just as a heads up, China right now is really struggling economically. I feel like every country would want to be the next Wall Street. Yes, they're the second biggest country by GDP. However, right now they're struggling far more than most major countries. So they're going to have to figure out their own economy. And at the end of the day, that's a direct result of dictatorship, right? Doesn't really work long term in economies of scale, but that's neither here or there. He's talking about now they want to be pro-positive crypto. Again, just sounds totally foolish when you really think about the fact that all he had to say is pro crypto. But let's just forget about that. I don't trust this guy. I think he's really just after new clients, and so as long as he can get a lot of clicks on the title of XRP, he's going to do it. But let's listen.
Really trying to be pro-positive on crypto, which is part of the reason why I think the SEC made their move for the ETF this year, because they need to do something. But with Ripple, they're a medium of exchange. Bank of America actually did 100% of internal transfers on Ripple. I think it was early 2021 through early 2022 when ultimately the SEC said, hey, there's something going on here. Now, Ripple actually won that case. Here's what I can...
So here's the reality. I'm not too sure whether or not that is the case. What I do know, and I'll pull up a few posts on it, is the fact that yes, Bank of America did potentially have a partnership with Ripple, but it's not as direct as you would actually think. So back in 2016, BofA has become a member of RippleNet Committee, an organization that oversees the network's standards. Then in February of, 2020, I believe, a Ripple announcement circulated claiming Bank of America would transact with fellow RippleNet member Santander for cross-border payments between the US and Mexico, Santander being a very big bank in Mexico. The announcement was subsequently retracted, and publications were asked to be removed and to report the tweets and posts. So that said, yes, there is some sort of a link or a connection, and yes, BofA might have actually used Ripple for a lot of their internal transactions, but I do believe a lot of that actually ended during Operation Choke Point 2.0, where essentially the government went to the Federal Reserve and all sorts of banks and basically cut off access to any banks that were offering services to crypto. So that said, Bank of America being the second largest bank, I do believe there was an issue there. And then you had this random patent start to make its way out there saying the patent for the Bank of America shows that Ripple's distributed ledger system was used on the bank's existing settlement layer. And here is the image. However, nobody can actually find the patent. And by the way, you can look these up. They are public. In other words, if you go through the comments, sometimes you will find some information. For example, this gentleman says, this is old, dude. We've been sharing that for 2 years and the patent even expired. In other words, the patent didn't actually get approved, and so it was just a patent pending product. By the way, I know this process because I've been through it, and we had a patent pending for about a year and a couple months, and then that patent did not actually get filed or go through. So that said, I hate to dog on a guy like this, because at the end of the day, if it does bring more attention to XRP and gets more investors excited about it, what's the big deal, right? It's really not. But I will say a lot of people are misled, and especially in the Ripple and XRP community. A lot of people hold these bags and then they'll buy into any piece of media that confirms their bias being their bag going up. If there's any positive news, they automatically believe it. And when someone looks very well put together and sounds like they know what they're talking about, more often than not, they are believed. And then guess what? That misinformation continues to spread online, and this is the perfect example of that virus. So by the way, I don't trust David. I don't think he's an industry insider. I do believe he just wants more clients for his current company, and it makes total sense why he'd do this. There's a direct incentive for him to do it. That said, in terms of CBDCs, and exactly what we made this video on. I don't believe that Ripple is any longer trying to be the central bank digital currency token of choice, if you will. I think they found a way to actually integrate themselves into the current traditional financial system through their RLUSD, which is exactly why they've developed that. I think that's the next move forward, and to actually operate from a perspective of global remittances and money transfers for banks and all sorts of different clients, and making it more efficient, feasible, cheaper, you name it. But when it comes to CBDCs, I think a lot of countries are no longer going to use something like Ripple, and that's exactly why back in the day, if you clicked on solutions on the Ripple website directly, you would have seen an option for CBDCs, but that is no longer the case. All you see is payments, custody, and stablecoin. On the right-hand side, you do see banks, neobanks, and digital banks. However, when you click on these, they only show you that they're turning payments and custody into profit. In other words, they're showing you how to use the Ripple distributed ledger technology to offer new financial services, become a digital asset custodian, and tap into new asset classes. That said, there is no longer talk around CBDCs directly on their website as a solution, because at the end of the day, they did not win that race. Who did? I don't know, but I think a lot of private companies were building CBDCs for banks directly because the banks wanted to own the infrastructure and they didn't want a third party like Ripple doing it. And even if a third party like Ripple did it, they wouldn't have to use the XRP token to do it. So Ripple said, let's find a new business model. Let's create a DeFi ledger where people can start building there. Let's start focusing on our clients and what they actually need using stable coins. And let's focus on the XRP token. They have a few CBDC partners, but not in major countries. And so this became a business model that was no longer viable for them. And that was a smart move, focusing on a stable coin, because this will become the future, especially when it comes to global remittances and money transfers for major institutional clients. So thank you so much for watching the video. And if you haven't already, make sure to go to bullrunners.com/altcoin pro. You can find the link in the description below. You've got exactly 13 days left to attend our upcoming event in Las Vegas, January 26th through the 28th. If you want to sign up for that, you got to get started with Altcoin Pro. So go ahead and watch this short video. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.